What up, nerds? This is a review of the Reloop RMX44BT. Quick background about myself so you can know if this is even applicable to you. I don't use a laptop or a Serato or anything like that. I just use two turntables, and I'm only an amateur. I do this like with friends once a month or whatever. I don't really make much money off DJing. It's just a hobby, which is why I've got this entry-level / mid-level mixer. Nothing too crazy, but let's get into the review. Okay, so first things first, let's address the elephant in the room. Of course, it is the Bluetooth pairing functionality. Yeah, you can have this channel be dedicated to Bluetooth. It takes only a few seconds to sync with your phone. It's pretty great, sounds good, gets nice and loud with the gain, but a lot of people think that that's ridiculous because there's so much latency with Bluetooth. And to that I say you're kind of missing the point. This isn't for people who are like serious performers. You're not going to use Bluetooth on some big high-paying DJ gig that you've signed up for. This is for the casual people like myself who are, maybe you're just spinning records with friends and someone recommends something. And, if you've ever DJ'd exclusively vinyl out somewhere at a party, someone has, a request, well, unless it's in your crate, you're shit out of luck. But now with the Bluetooth button, it's not a big deal. It's not something I'm going to use all the time, but it's great to have in a pinch. It's nice to know that, hey, you can just play it off your phone. Sounds pretty damn good. Overall, this mixer in general sounds fantastic. Let's get into some other functionality here. Let's go top to bottom, starting off with the gains. This is by far my biggest problem with this mixer, is that even though I'm using Reloop turntables, these are the RP7000 MK2s, they do not get loud enough to peak whatsoever. Like, I'll just drop the needle over here, and then you'll see this gain is up all the way, and this is doing the phono. But I swear, even if I turn on the preamp on the turntable and switch this over to the CD line and switch it on the back, you're still not going to get louder than that with your normal gain up all the way and your EQ flat. Like, that's insane. I'm not even getting in the yellow. I have to bump these up to get in the yellow, and then if I if I really want to peak, I've actually got to really crank these. These aren't all the way up, but each of these EQs is like 75%. That's what it takes to dip into the red. And you could argue that it's not a big deal if it works with these, but let's say you're using something that's a even more quiet sound source. Like, for example, I have a big tape deck over there off camera that you can't see. It's so quiet I couldn't use the RCA line out in the line-in channel. I had to use the headphone jack, split that into RCA, and then go in order to get enough juice for this thing to get high enough to where you could get in the orange. I know peaking is bad, but everything right up to the peak, that's just more dynamic. That's good. Unless I'm just, an amateur and don't know what I'm talking about. So, pretty typical microphone talk over functionality. We can test that out real quick. I can't think of any way to improve that. The volume out on this can go so loud, it just absolutely crushes the DJ headphones that I've got. Even though these gains are quiet and you're barely getting in the yellow, these put out some serious volume. So that's all good. Obviously you've got your difference between your Q in the headphones and your mix in the headphones. But one thing this has got that others don't is you can actually mute the main mix from the Q with this button here. So rather than having to constantly do this motion, which I'm used to doing, it's so nice to just be able to tap like that. Just let's demonstrate how great the effects are on this. Other mixers have a much wider variety of effects, but I didn't really use them that much. I didn't use the delay or the reverb or the bit crusher because honestly, I'd be stumbling with the controls. With this, it's a dedicated knob, which means you can build up muscle memory for it. And the quality of the low-pass filter and the high-pass filter on this is just choice. And you can actually do a fade without touching the crossfader at all, where you have one low-pass filter coming in and then the high-pass filter coming out at the same time. mean, I'm just messing around. Obviously, I'm not like beat matching or anything, but I just wanted to show you how exciting that is when you're messing around with doing one low pass filter and one high pass filter going in opposite directions at the same time, which is something you can't say for a lot of the other mixers. Last thing we want to talk about is the crossfader on here. So I'm a little bit disappointed that there's only two types of curvature. You know, this is standard for a lot of lower end turntables, but I was kind of hoping, just because Reloop is the best, that they would have an actual knob on here. And let me tell you why this is a little bit of a problem. So on other mixers like the Newmark that I've got, when it's not in the DJ slope, it's your regular curve. This piece right here, this would normally mean A and B are both at 100% volume, but in this case, that's not true. A and B are both at about 80% volume right now, and then the slope gets sharper towards the end. So then if you do this, B is now at 100% and A is at 0%. So that makes for a smoother transition from when you're fading from here to here, because you have a wider range of motion, but you cannot do the two filter trick that I just showed you with this curvature. Reason being, you could do your two knob sweep. Got one handful here. You could do your sweep like that, but at the end of your transition, you're still only going to be at 80% volume, which is a total bummer. So the only way you can do that is if you switch your crossfader curve over to your typical DJ style, which is normally, this is 100% A, and then you push it over just a little bit, and it's 100% for both. I guess I can demonstrate that. You get the idea. It's really designed for scratching. Again, it's only a bummer because I'm so excited about the whole low pass, high pass filter thing. You can always bypass that too and just use both on your through, and just use your vertical sliders. Not a big deal. I think that's everything. Sorry for all the noise in the mic. It's very hot here. It's very hot out, and hey, be nice to retail workers and anyone who serves, restaurant workers and all them. Don't be a stick in the mud to people who serve. Okay, bye.